And we are live again, once again. Welcome everyone back to the Ravencast. I am your host, Lord Triton, joined by Jim. And we got a special guest back on. We got Aaron Baker returning to the program once again because the congressional race has turned to a complete shit show. What is up, Aaron? Welcome back.
That's a pretty fair statement.
This turned a complete shit show. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. So what's happened since the last time we talked? Seems like you got a new contender named Dan Bilzerian.
Well, let me give my little introduction for those people that don't know who I am. My name's Aaron Baker. I'm running for Florida's 6th congressional district. I was born here in Florida in Polk County. Grew up in Western Kentucky on a 160-acre farm. Business partners with a general contractor, and now live in Lake County, which is right next to Volusia County, so about 45 minutes from Daytona Beach. So that's at least who I am. Now we can get into this race is started. I filed my paperwork literally the day after Randy Fine won the special election last year, because I'd run against him in the special election in the primary, and I knew that he was basically going to go to Washington and make a fool out of all of us, which is basically what he did. So that's that. Just kind of been doing my own thing and chugging right along. Going to a lot of different events. I think we had either 9 or 10 different events scheduled this week. So, we're averaging a lot of events, and, we've been at it so long, over 200 events that we've done so far in the congressional district. And I had spoken to Dan back in December. We were connected through a mutual acquaintance in Tampa. And at that time, he had stated, talk to me after the first of the year, let's see what we can do about, raising you some money so, you have a better chance, because everybody knows, you need at least a, fair amount of money to run a congressional campaign. And then basically just never heard back from him, and, no follow through. Then in March he called and was like, I'm going to run against Randy Fine. I'm like, ooh, why are you going to run against Randy Fine? I've been doing this for, 11 months at that time.
He knew, like in December, that you was the one running against Randy Fine, right?
Absolutely.
He's been going on these spaces saying, "Oh, there's no one else doing it. No one else is taking the challenge. I'm the only one doing this." And it's like, why?
You know what I would like to know? What I would like to know where his ass was during the special election when no one came to help when I was running against Randy Fine at that point. I mean, complete radio silence. I guess he was at some foam party in Las Vegas that month and, couldn't get his head out of the foam or whatever. But, this, Johnny come lately, oh, I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to show everybody how it's done. And I'm going to schedule my first campaign event. Oh, but sorry, it's in the wrong congressional district. Let's cancel that and tell everybody there were too many people that were going to show up. Yeah, sure. The venue holds 1,000 people. So if that's your story, then you're going to have to come up with even larger venue, and you're going to have it filled to the seams, because nobody's buying that story.
But why not in the district he's running? That's my whole thing. So he literally put the event in Maitland, which is like far away from the district. It's basically in District 10. It's like, does he even know what the district is on the map? Does he even know what District 6 is? Does he even know what the counties are? Because it seems like he's coming in this race with no knowledge whatsoever about the district he's wanting to run it and represent.
Well, someone had asked him on a podcast on Space on Sunday, what are his legislative priorities? Well, for me, I've been on the ground. I can tell you what people need. We're concerned about flooding. We're concerned about infrastructure. We're concerned about helping our farmers. We're concerned about beach erosion. And he's like, federal laws and, I'm going to do federal laws and federal laws that help people. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you even trying to say? I mean, it's just gibberish. It doesn't make any sense at all. And there's no possibility that you can come into this congressional district complete unknown and think that you're going to change the voting demographic. The average age of a Republican primary voter in this district is 57 years old. So he said, well, we're gonna get more people registered to vote. Okay, let's just go with the number 40,000 that you need to win this election. If you're going to completely change the demographic, you have 2 months to do it because voter registration ends. You have to be registered to vote by July the 20th for the August 18th primary. So that gives you 2 months. So if you wanted to register 40,000 people Republican in 2 months, that would be over 600 people a day. I mean, that would be a massive effort in this congressional district. And I don't see anything, I don't see anything happening at all, more or less anything to that scale. I mean, that would be, news region wide. If somebody was able to register 600 people a day to vote, it's just not happening.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Dan just thinks that he needs social, because all the things I've been seeing him do is just tweet on social media, like a social media campaign. But it's like you need to be out there and convincing the people that already live in the district to why you are the better candidate. And he's, instead of him doing that, I just see him like making up stuff, because I've seen him like post 2 screenshots about you. One was where AIPAC posted a screenshot of your foreign policy saying that you support foreign aid to Israel. Was that a real screenshot, or was that a fake screenshot?
No, that was from actually very early last year, after the election last year. When I actually got in touch with, or when AIPAC got in touch with me, we had gone over kind of line by line, what was practical or what foreign policy should really look like. So, I mean, yeah, he's referring to something that's over a year old. And, I think it's fair to say that at some point in the last year, 2 years, however long it's been for, each person, something has occurred that has made you change your mind on what I call the genocidal government of Israel.
And what has made you like change your mind since that statement? Just so like we can get more transparency for the audience, and so Dan just doesn't be like, "Oh, you only changed it because it's popular." Like, what made you change your position to basically? And are you against foreign aid for Israel for any country? Like, what's your opinion on like the foreign aid concept?
So what happened was the Israeli government had detained and held Mohammed Ibrahim, who is a Florida citizen, in their prison without trial. And, I believe that every American, no matter where you are on this planet, that it's the job of the United States government to protect you. We could obviously see that there was something askew, and it went on months and months and months, and, ended up being about 9 months that he was held. And at that time, it was a widely unpopular opinion to even bring it up, because there were 2 Republicans in the entire state of Florida that were saying anything about it at all. And that was myself, actually 3, myself, Mike Wilnow, and James Fishback. So, and that was it. So we were way out on a limb as far as, anything that was a reasonable talking point in the state of Florida. So that's really what made me change, or what made me open my eyes to say, okay, and then obviously now I think with the advent of social media, you look at most of the stuff that's coming out of the Middle East, and you just look at it and you're like, there's no way that this is right. There's no way that we can go along with, the slaughter of women and children. And it just keeps going on. It's not just in Gaza, but now you see the incursion into Lebanon. And, I've stated very publicly that how do we deal with the government of Israel when the government of Israel will not even tell us where their borders are? Um, they won't tell us where their border is with Gaza. They won't tell us where the border is with Lebanon. And, it just keeps this lasting incursion. Okay, we're going to take another 10 miles, another 20 miles, another neighborhood, and then we're going to resettle another neighborhood. That's not good. I mean, it's not what we were brought up as. It's not Christ-like.
Yeah, it's definitely not Christ-like, and that's exactly why, like, that the Israeli government. That's why, like, a lot of people don't even support the Israeli government anymore because that's the thing. Originally, it's like I used to support Israel back in 2023 because I don't like terrorists, I don't like Hamas, but then seeing them just go and take innocent people's houses away and do all that and use our tax dollars to do it, it's made myself and a lot of people like yourself wanting to make change and prevent this from happening. And I feel like, Dan Bilzerian's solution is not really a good solution because his solution is, oh, let's just get a fucking gun and let's go kill him. It's like, how do you think you would have a better solution than both Randy Fine and because Randy Fine's like, oh, just ignore it. We're just in foreign aid, but it's fine. Let's let Israel do what they want. Let's just cut off foreign aid. Like, how would you deal with the situation better than your primary opponents?
Well, oddly enough, I'm actually going to agree with Randy Fine's um, his latest rhetoric on this. Cut off the money. It's the same thing with Iran. If you want Iran to stop acting bad, cut off the money. We've been funding all of these proxy groups forever. Israel has been funding Hamas because they needed a boogeyman in the room, and it's not correct. However, when Randy Fine says that, he's never actually voted to do that. So if you look at every vote that he's taken in the U.S. House, not once has he ever voted to limit in any way the money going to the genocidal government of Israel. And it wasn't until Netanyahu's CBS interview, and this was on Sunday, that Netanyahu said, we want to decouple or something, whatever, from, U.S. Okay, great. But that's not what they're actually doing. So what they're doing and what they're saying are two completely different things.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like Randy Fine's only doing it because he sees that you're actually doing well in the polls, and then when Dan's coming to split the vote, it didn't even work, and that your rhetoric is still being pushed. So I feel like he's basically trying to play the system by, you know what, I'm going to vote to end foreign aid, but I don't think he's going to actually go along with it at all because he's never went along with it. And why do you think he's going to go along with it now? I feel like he's just only saying it so he can secure the seat and then vote whatever way he wants to vote, whatever his APAC advisors tell him to vote. So I feel like.
Well, let me give you another example. So one of his latest things is, no dual citizens can serve in Congress. Okay, well, the exact same legislation was proposed last year, H.R. 2356 by Thomas Massey. There were 7 Republican co-sponsors. He was not one of them. He didn't support the bill. So it's Johnny come lately. Let's figure out what the latest talking point is, and let's go off the latest talking point. But there's no actual follow through. There's no actual morality behind what he's saying. It's let me see what I can say to get reelected, and that's it.
And that's what I see too. Is like a voter that's in the district because I've been paying attention to Randy Fine even before like I knew who you were like 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, Randy Fine was actually like dodging the question so much. In fact, I'm pretty sure he voted no on Thomas Massey's bill last year, where it was going to ban dual citizens. I think he was one of the Republicans that ended up voting no, which I could be wrong about that. But I remember.
I don't know. I would have to go back and look it up. if it even came to the floor for a vote.
But either way, it's like I haven't seen Randy Fine like fully actually fight for it. I feel like he's just only saying it because he sees the MAGA civil war and he sees people in MAGA and a lot of MAGA voters actually getting tired of the foreign aid. So he's only saying it so he can get reelected, but he's just all talk. He's basically all talk, no bite, is how I see it.
So it never, HR 2356 never advanced out of committee, but he was not one of the co-sponsors.
So that's the thing. It's like if he really was, you'd think he would be a co-sponsor back then if he really truly believed it. I feel like he's just only saying it because it's like the latest talking point.
Of course it is.
And he got Johnny Khan lately coming in, which I'm gonna be real. I don't even think Dan Bilzerian even wants to win. I think he's just coming here and basically trying to use this as social media clout so he can say, "Hey, at least I tried. At least I did something." Because that's what his friend Casey Putsch did. It's like we need actual winners and people that want to win. And I just want to ask you this, just so I can get a true answer from you. Do you actually want to win this election? Like, are you here to win?
Yes, 100%.
I know it's not funny, but I'm just asking the whole damn thing.
Anybody that knows this congressional district knows how much work I put into this congressional district. I mean, it's maddening. Tomorrow morning, I mean, I have a breakfast that I need to be at 8:00, which means I need to leave here by like 6:45 in the morning. And then that's from 8 to 10, and then I will be in Putnam County from 2 to 3, and then in St. Augustine from 6 to 8. So tomorrow's going to start probably leaving the house at 6:45, and I'll be lucky if I'm home. I mean, if we stop and have dinner afterwards, I'll probably be home at 11:30 tomorrow night.
And something I noticed and I actually want to ask like how you do it is I see that you're really good at at basically pandering. Well, like the pandering's not like it's not the right word I'm using, but you know what I mean. Like you're actually like you know how to appeal to both the older voters and the younger voters. And I want to ask, like, how do you do that so well where you both appeal to the younger Groyper generation and then the older boomer generation as well? Because you go to breakfasts and you also go to James Fishback events, and I feel like you're actually getting support from both the younger class and the older class by doing both events.
So, I mean, you have to have a message that makes sense. And because of the age of the demographic, you don't say what Dan Bilzerian says is give me a gun and I'll sign up to go exterminate Israelis. That does not fly.
No, that does not fly.
If you say I want to ban congressional stock trading, I want term limits, and I want us to stop foreign aid, and I want us to start helping Americans. That's something that makes sense to not only 18 but also 80-year-olds. They're like, yeah, we get it. I mean, one of the things that I say all the time over the last couple of months since the war in Iran started is you see at the gas pump. I mean, I filled up today. It cost me $125 to fill up because I mean I drive a Suburban, so I drive a lot. But yesterday, or not yesterday, but I think it was what's today? Thursday. So Monday I'd filled up, and the person in front of me got $3 worth of gas. I mean, $3. That's enough gas to get to work if you work like within 5 miles, and to get home, and that's it. I mean, you're talking about the average everyday American not being able to afford to eat lunch. Their kids can't afford to eat lunch. Last night I was in St. Augustine at a Right to Life gala, and one of the things that Fishback has said is that he wants to close the Planned Parenthood clinics, and those should be. We need to transition to a way where we can help new families, and whatever however they need help to be able to keep children, because we're actually declining in American population because people are having less babies. We're having more abortions. That is not, having more church in the community. That's the complete opposite. I mean, that's a breakdown of, any religious doctrine at all. So, I mean, we need, we need to be more Christ-like in our life. We need to start helping our neighbors. One of the things that I certainly like about James's stance is, he says that mothers need to have maternity leave. And, if a mother walks in and says, I would keep this baby if I could just have help with prenatal care, postnatal care, or, if I had, some resources, some daycare, whatever it is, that's where we need to be focused on. We need to be focused on making our lives better. We don't need to be focused on all of this nonsense, trying to figure out how tall Dan Bilzerian is. I mean, that doesn't do any good for any of us.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, and I feel like a lot of people, they just care more about like drama and feuds instead of the
Sure.
actual political arguments. And I feel like, see, that's the thing. It's like, I actually wouldn't even mind if Dan Bilzerian ran for Congress, but my only issue was he picked a district where there's already an America First guy that's already been, running for like, a whole year. And it's like, why picked, and the same thing is happening in the 11th district with Mike Will now too. It's like these random influencers are coming in and running for Congress, and it's like, why pick this district of all districts where there's already a guy running? Why not go to the 16th or 7th or these other
Well,
districts with first people?
it's very interesting that you say that, because the 16th district is much closer to Tampa, where Dan was born. Doesn't live there now. He lives in Las Vegas, but at least the 16th district would give you some semblance of roots to the area, and it's a much younger demographic than it is here. And when I spoke to Dan in March before he announced, I said, Dan, why don't you go to the 16th district? There's no incumbent, and it gives you every opportunity to be on your side of the state that not over here where you don't know. I mean, I guarantee you, he can't tell you what counties are in the 6th congressional district, or, any of the cities. Well, I mean, he could probably tell you Daytona Beach, and, beyond that, I don't think that he could, name any of the smaller cities. But, beside the point, we've had that conversation before he announced. And then he just comes in like a bull in a china shop. Me in charge now.
Me in charge. Let's go to war with Israel.
Me in charge. Give me a gun. Let's go exterminate Israelis. I mean, this is crazy talk. It's not.
Did he ever give you a reason of why he wouldn't go to the 16th district? Did he ever was he ever explicit with that, or did he just say like no?
I don't know what the answer is, but I mean, anybody that has been around politics for more than 12 seconds knows that if you're running in an open seat versus running against an incumbent, if you're running against an incumbent, you better put in a hell of a lot of work, and you better be out there every single day, like I am. But you don't just swoop in unless you're going to put just gobs and gobs and gobs of money into it. And I don't mean like, $100,000 or $1 million. I mean, if you came in and you said, okay, I'm going to put $20 million of money into this race, and I'm just going to blanket every airwave and every event, and I'm going to have, these massive get-togethers, and, I'm going to have concerts every weekend with a different country western singer. If you came in with something like that, you may be able to make a difference, but you can't come in at a late stage, basically 2 months before voter registration closes for the election and say, I'm going to come in and register, new 40,000 voters. It's not going to happen.
And that's the thing. Where is he going to even get? Does he? Does he just think he has enough clout where 40,000 of his fans are going to come to the district and just move into districts? Like you got to understand, those people have to live in a district for one. And is 40,000 people really going to move into this district just to get Dan Bilzerian of all people in the Congress? I don't think so.
No.
The only person that would probably do that is Jake Shields, and that's it.
Well, we're not going to talk about his ability to spell anything, so we'll move on from that.
No, yeah, but so I heard you also like had a. But before we get to that, I just got a question because it just came out of my head. Is it true that James Fishback himself tried to intervene? Because I was told from like a pro Fishback account that I talked to that knows James Fishback. He said that Fishback himself tried to convince Dan Bilzerian to go to the 16th district. Do you know if that's true, or do you not have any knowledge of that?
Do you want me to answer that question?
I mean, is it like something private? Because I was just told.
I mean, you know, I do know that there were behind the scenes conversation that took place.
Yeah, that's what all I know is like because I saw the St. Augustine for Fishback confront Dan publicly and say even James Fishback tried to tell you to stop and you didn't listen to him. And it's like if you're not going to even listen to the America First governor that's running for governor and is supposed to be on your team, then it's like why you even like the Dan Bilzerian thing doesn't make sense. And then I don't mean to get conspiratorial, but there's just a few people from both my and your audience that have said this theory. Do you think this Dan Bilzerian thing is like a psyop to get Randy Fine to win, or you think Dan's just stupid?
I think it's just the grifter Olympics. It's so what happens in politics for those people that aren't aware of what happens in politics. You come in, you raise money, and then you see how many people you can put on your payroll, or whatever, or if it's for Dan. I mean, I'd be very interested to see his campaign finance. However, that's not going to be filed until July the 15th because he filed so late. So you're not going to see any actual numbers until July the 15th. But I'd like to see where the money's being spent. If it's on consultants, if it's on travel. I mean, if you look at where I spend money, I mean, I spend money on events. I spend money in the district. I've spent a little bit on airfare, but one of the events I went to was in Atlantic City. I flew Spirit Airlines. I think it was like $112 round trip, and paid for the hotel out of my pocket. And then went to Texas back in March, again on Spirit Airlines, and very, very low cost. So and then again paid for the hotel out of my pocket to help another candidate in Texas campaign. So I'd be very interested to see where his campaign money spent. I mean, if you look at Randy Fine's campaign finance, he spends just absurd amounts, like Bobby Van's Steakhouse in Washington, D.C., $4,509 on one meal. I don't know how many people you're feeding, but $4,509 on one meal. I mean, I could feed, we had a barbecue in St. Augustine for like 120 people, and that was $1,000. So, I mean, I could literally feed 550 people for $4,500. Just complete, it's exactly what I called Dan out for today. How can you say that you're running a congressional campaign if you're not even in the district? On Sunday, on Mother's Day, in a space, he said, "Oh, I'm in the district. I'm going to VFWs to talk about, my policies and about, and somebody said, okay, well, what are you talking about? And he said, well, I'm talking about Jewish supremacy. And somebody said, well, how's your message being received? And they're like, well, everybody agrees with what I'm saying. Well, first of all, anybody that knows politics also knows that you can't go to a VFW and talk about politics. They won't let you. I know the quartermasters, I know the sergeant at arms of just about everyone. You can't talk about politics at a VFW. It's a nonpartisan place. So I know he's full of BS. And then if you think that you're going to come into the 6th congressional district and talk and walk into a random place where people don't have a freaking clue who you are and talk about Jewish supremacy and tell me that everybody's agreeing with you, I know that you're lying through your teeth. So he needs to get on his plane, get back to Las Vegas, get back to smuggling drugs up his ass like he, was doing from Mexico, and be on his merry way. We have no place for him in the state of Florida.
No, we don't at all. Not only that, but the few people that I've talked to that don't really know don't know Dan's background, but have heard him like on the news, they all hate him because they're like, bro, all he talks about is getting a gun and going after Israelis. Like, why are we going to vote for that? Isn't that why we hate Hitler? Like, literally, people have said that to me. It's like, isn't that why we hate Hitler? Because of genocide? Isn't that why we hate is the Israeli government to begin with? It's like a lot of people in the district are not even comfortable with Dan's rhetoric because the reason why we don't even like the Israeli government is because they do genocide. Doing genocide and war is not like that's how you know he's not really thinking it this politically. And that's the thing. And it gets to my other point. It's like I saw that Nick Fuentes had to chime in because Dan Bilzerian tried to attack him, call him a Fed. And Nick's like, look, I didn't endorse you because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. All you're doing is going on streams and saying you're gonna kill people and stuff. And apparently Nick Fuentes is talking to you. How did that conversation go? And was there agreements, disagreements? How did the conversation with Nick Fuentes go? Because he talked a little bit about it on the show.
Yeah, we did have a conversation on Monday. It was a brief conversation, somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, because I was actually at an event in St. Augustine. So we did speak. We agreed to speak further in the future. No promise of help or an endorsement, but at least we're speaking. And I told Dick, I said, I might not agree with everything that you say, but I probably agree with 90% of the things you say. That's so true. We need to get back to, the things that we agree on in politics where, okay, I know people need help in this congressional district. I know we need help with roads. We need help with flooding. We need help with beaches. We need help with, basic infrastructure. Let's get back to the things that we agree on. And, if the idea is that, we're just going to sit here and all tear each other apart, that's not going to be productive for anybody.
No, in fact, that's the main reason why me personally I started speaking out when I saw Dan Bilzerian running in the 6th district. It's like all this is gonna do is just gonna divide everyone. And I do have like mutual contact with Jake Shields, and me and him kind of got into not like an argument, but a little disagreement because I was trying to get him to get Dan to talk to you and get them to endorse you. And Jake was like, why doesn't Aaron just go to another district? Why doesn't he go to another district? It's like, Aaron lives here, bro. Aaron lives here.
I live here.
He lives here.
Not only that, I've already collected the candidate petitions. I'm qualified to be on the ballot. So far, I'm the only one. Dan hasn't even filed paperwork to run in the state of Florida yet. And I'm the one that's qualified to be on the ballot. So anybody that tells me that I need to go somewhere else, they have their head screwed on wrong.
Literally, because it's like you're the one that's done the paperwork and the petitions, and you're basically already ahead. Dan still hasn't done, as far as I know, hasn't done any of that. Hasn't done no paperwork. He doesn't even know he's going to be on the ballot. Like, imagine like he tries to get on the ballot, and they say, "Oh, you're not eligible to run." He's not even on the ballot. Like it feels like they're just doing it based on last minute decision. Because
no, I think they're doing it because they were all sitting around at Dan's house in Las Vegas one day, and he's like, well, what if I run for Congress? And they're like, do it, Dan, do it, Dan, do it, Dan, do it, Dan. We'll go help you. Yes, Dan, we'll go help you.
Apparently, according to Nick, he didn't even know what a congressman was or what they did. Apparently, Nick had to explain to him because originally Dan was like, "Oh, I'm going to run for governor of Florida," and then Nick's like, "Bro, that's not the same thing. That's not how you beat Randy Fine." And apparently, for some reason, Dan thought that Randy Fine was running as governor. It's like, are you okay? Like, these are the people trying to run against you. These are the people that think they're more America first than you. These are the people that try to call you an Israeli shill. But it's like, you can't even run against Randy Fine because you're so dumb. You don't even know what a governor, we don't even know the difference between a governor, a senator, or a congressman is. You just think it's all the same. And apparently they wrote this all on crayon, and apparently that's real. And it's like, grown ass man running shit on crayon. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is like the biggest joke clown campaign I've ever seen. And they're doing the same thing to Mike's district too. They sent some other fucking fuckhead named Anthony. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Anthony something, some fucking Dan Bilzerian clone that basically says the same rhetoric as Dan. It's like, what do y'all think you're doing? Y'all really think y'all coming in and just taking it? This is why infighting is even happening in the first place in the America First movement, I feel like, it's because these dumbasses, they think they know what they're doing, so they're coming in and trying to take away from the people that actually do know what they're doing. It's basically wannabes.
Yeah, I'm not. I've got enough to worry about with my own race. So you know, my number one and number two priorities are myself and James Fishback's races, and
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because Fishback and you've like, I've actually applauded Fishback for sticking loyalty during like all of this. Because I've even saw Dan Bilzerian take shots at Fishback because Fishback wouldn't endorse him. It's like, no shit, he's already endorsed someone like a year ahead of you. Like, why is he gonna get back on his endorsement and then do all that? And also, another thing that I want to, while you're on here, that I want to ask you about is, what was your involvement with the whole America First United event? Apparently, they invited you to speak, but then endorsed Dan. What's going on with that whole thing?
Yeah, and I'll just tell you, I have 5 minutes, so I need to be off at 6:45.
Oh, no, that's all
Um,
good.
yeah. So the America First thing was America First United was originally put on by Amy Dangerfield. I didn't know who Amy Dangerfield was. Never spoken to her before, and then she reached out to me and she's like, "Oh yeah, well, we'd like you to be a part of this." And then I'm like, "Okay, when is it? Where is it? And what's the premise of it?" And they're like, "Okay, well, we're going to have all these America First candidates." Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Okay, that sounds great. We're going to have Republicans, we're going to have Democrats, we're going to have independents." I'm like, okay, well, that really is what the America First movement is about. It's not about party. It's about, policy and about this country first and foremost. And then it got to be so she had told me where it was going to be. It was going to be in Columbus, Ohio, the first weekend in May. And she gave me the event details. And so I went ahead and booked air tickets. So myself and Annette, my campaign manager, were going to go. And the plan was that I was going to be able to speak. And originally she had told me, okay, well, we're going to get your endorsement out. We're going to endorse you, da, 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 da. And it never came. And then all of a sudden they endorsed Dan. So I messaged her and I'm like, what's going on here? And basically what's happening is everyone is trying to grift off of Dan's campaign. They're trying to see how much money they can raise off of his campaign and how much money, how many different services they can sell him. Meaning, like Amy and her boyfriend, husband, whatever, are in Florida campaigning for him. But I guarantee you that they're on the payroll, and that Dan's paying all of their, or Dan's campaign is paying all of their expenses, while they're in Florida. So it's this big game where they really have no concern about policy. They could care less if the entire world burns down. Where, me, I want to do better for the people here. I want to do better for the community. You know, if there's somebody in need, you know, I want to be able to help. And it could be stupid things like, you know, it could be the kid that's getting beat up at the University of Tampa for maybe talking a little too loud, that, you know, needs somebody to step in and say something. You know, whatever the case is, and we don't have to go into detail on that, but you know, or if it's the person here locally that's getting $3 worth of gas, if there's some way, you know, that as a person you can help, that's what you should be doing. You should be living your life in a more Christ-like way. First and foremost, let's preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Number one being life. So first and foremost, before anything else, I believe in life. Okay, so we have to do everything that we can to promote life, and that's from conception until natural birth. I mean, natural death. So, you know, everything beyond that is just, it's just kind of details. You know, infrastructure, you know, we'll work that out. We just need somebody paying attention to what's going on here. So I know that my time is quickly coming to a close. So,
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, unlike you, you actually have the time. You have the time to go to districts and stuff. You're actually putting in the work, and that's what I like about you. And that's the thing, like you said before, the main mission is to be pro-life and like America first, and make sure that, you know, we defend the Constitution and that we continue being Christ-like. We make sure that the name of Jesus Christ is protected in our country as well. I feel like that's the biggest goal, and that's the bigger picture of the whole America First movement. Because a lot of people get confused, like, oh, how can you say you're America First, but you're for Christ? It's like Christ is America First, because America was built on Jesus Christ and the name of Jesus Christ from Nazareth. So I feel like that's definitely a bigger picture, and something that America was founded on was life, was protecting American citizens, was being better than the British, and actually, you know, helping our citizens in time of need. And I feel like you definitely do that. So yeah, I think your time's almost up, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. But appreciate you coming on for a second interview. I'm really glad to have you, and hopefully, you know, come back on again. And I am definitely gonna vote and go out there and try my best to help you win, because I feel like this is a definitely important race, especially the primary.
My website, flaaron.com, flaaron.com. If you would like to volunteer, if you would like to donate, you know, we have a tremendous amount of events. You know, let's see, tomorrow we have 3 events. Saturday we have 2 events. Sunday we'll be back in Daytona at the International Festival. So all of those things take volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers, but you know, always more and more and more volunteers are great. So with that being said, God bless you, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, you too, man. You take care. God bless you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. You take care. All right, so putting his website down. That was Aaron Baker, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, great interview. Great second interview for sure. And I know there was a lot more people watching than the last one. But yeah, that's the thing. It was a great interview, and I feel like it got a lot of insight into, you know, what's going on. Hey, Jim, since you are unmuted, what's your opinion on the interview and how it went?
It went really well. You did a good job.
Now, what's your opinion on the whole damn Bilzerian thing and the Randi fine?
Yeah, you guys were jiving, so I didn't really want to cut in there.
No, that's all good.
My thoughts are this: is that motherfucker Dan literally, like, he actually brought it up though. Aaron brought it up. He basically said he is equivalently a grifter, and he smuggles drugs in his ass. I don't know why he's not in federal prison for that shit. And like several other things he's done, and even Asmongold, when he had first noticed him way back. Basically said this motherfucker is a grifter. He's a piece of shit. He is human garbage. And he's a con artist. Like he literally pulls up the clip. Asmongold pulled up the clip and then compared, you know, and he's like, yeah, I said this date and time. I was right. So I mean, Asmongold knew before he went mainstream running for governor. So
Yeah. I don't have to. Oh, yeah, all right. If you want to come on, I can give you the link. I just
who's that?
glitch. But anyways, oh, by the way, I hear your music too.
Yeah, I know. I tried to turn it down. It's. I'm sorry about the Steam Deck, guys.
Or just
By the
music.
way,
Which
best investment of my life. Y'all should get a Steam Deck.
I'm gonna go ahead and send you the link, glitch. But yeah, I think it was a really good conversation. I feel like Aaron actually does have a chance to win because, like he said, he's more pro-life than everyone else, and he's basically talked about the bigger mission. And didn't even want to get into petty stuff, which is, let me see. Oh yeah, I got it in Jim's DMs. This should be the right link, but when I first sent it to Aaron, it fucking didn't work at first. Oh yeah, by the way, now, oh yeah, want to get into our other segment too, because we got another segment. I just want to do the Aaron interview to get, because that's the thing. There was a lot of lies being spread on Aaron too, that he's pro-Israel, pro-foreign aid, and all that, and it's just not donate. Yeah, and also I'm definitely gonna donate to Aaron as well. Y'all should definitely donate to Aaron Baker as well. I put the website in the chat already right here. That's the website. If y'all would like to donate, make sure y'all do donate because, yeah. Hey, Torn, what is up? Which I know you're late, but yeah, we just did a great interview with Aaron just a little bit ago. So, yeah, and we're about to get into another segment, which is, Chud Logic shouting out the Ravencast and Chud Logic watching the Ravencast. But yeah, but that's the thing. It's just, I think Aaron, I'm going to give my final thoughts on the whole conversation, the whole Aaron Baker race. Aaron Baker's definitely, as someone that lives in the district, in District 6, Aaron Baker's definitely the better candidate than Randy Fine and Dan Bilzerian. Because all Dan Bilzerian does is say, I'm getting a motherfucking gun and I'm going to go kill these motherfuckers. It's like, dude, that's some edge shit. That's some edgelord internet shit. You can't say that shit in real life. You can't go in real life in public and say that shit. You fucking idiot. Like, what the fuck? Like, Dan's definitely not going to win because people in my district don't like that. They don't like that kind of rhetoric. And then Randy Fine's rhetoric is, I'm going to kill all Muslims. I'm going to kill them. It's like, you two are idiots. You can't just go on here and say you're going to kill people based on groups. You can't just go and say you're going to genocide groups. And that's why I think Aaron Baker is the best one out of all of them because he's the only one out of the three that doesn't talk about genociding people and doesn't talk about, fucking just putting a foreign interest first. And that's why I fully endorse Aaron Baker and Dan Bilzerian and Randy Fine. I hope they lose, and I'm going to be voting against them. So yeah, if anyone doesn't have any more opinions on that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Chud Logic thing. So I've been doing a lot of rage bait on Twitter, calling Ethan Klein, Satan Klein, and Nicholas Sturio the Antichrist. Obviously, that is rage bait, obviously, for people that don't know what rage bait is. Yes, that is rage bait, but apparently Chud Logic has watched me doing a bit on my stream and has played my stream on his Twitter. On his stream, and it was clipped on Twitter. So we're going to go ahead and pull that up and react to me getting a shout out.
I'm I think I might need to turn off the air conditioning. Or put on the shirt.
Or that, yeah. Which I don't care. I'm just. Oh, that's why I don't have the fucking YouTube. I didn't paste the link. I'm an idiot. But yeah, I'm just telling Twitter that we're changing segments, and then I'm gonna pull it up. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right, 3, 2, 1. So Chud Logic is, and he's also said a funny comment that I think is really fucking funny. All right, ready? All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. So we're getting to the Chud Logic segment of Chud Logic talking about the Ravencast. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip fully, entirely, and then we can get on to commentary on it.
Coming from commentary legend, Lord Triton. Okay, let's give this a go.
Dude, Triton might be one of the best posters on Twitter. Talking sense, bro. Ethan Klein is Satan, and Nicholas Furious is Antichrist. Sent by him to call us all.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, I'm just telling the truth, though. I'm telling the truth. He is the Antichrist, John.
No, guys, he's literally the Antichrist.
He's the Antichrist of commentary, literally. And
no,
Queenman's like
the Antichrist of commentary.
No disrespect to Jesus Christ, but Queenman's like the Jesus Christ of commentary, coming in, being the
Well, first off, Queenman's Jewish, so that doesn't work on his face. And secondly, Queenman's clearly sent me there because he wants me to broadcast him getting called Jesus Christ because he's a fucking out of control egomaniac.
Oh man!
By the way,
after I went to bed.
Yeah, this happened when after you. Wait, this happened like the other day, I think.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was on that stream though.
Yeah, I think you went to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah. Apparently, Jim also sent him the same clip as well, and apparently Chud's giving credit to Queenman instead of Jim. Apparently, because Jim also sent them the same. But I'm sure Queenman sent them the clip too, because Queenman's been reposting it. But yeah, Chud Logic actually watching the Ravencast. That's actually dope. Because, you know, like I said before, I think Chud Logic's like the only one that hasn't fucking fully sold out to the commentary mob. Because everyone else just sold out to Ethan Klein.
Logic just does whatever the fuck he wants, pretty much.
He just does what he wants, and he tells the truth, and he tells his real opinions, and that's what I like about him. It's like, you know, he tells his real opinions. He's not no bitch. He's not no guy that just. But yeah,
I don't know much about him, honestly, but from what I hear, he's on the level, unlike some of the other commentators.
Yeah, he doesn't base his takes on. Same with Queenman too. They have their own actual takes. And they don't care, like, if it aligns with the audience.
Is that why the commentary was going after him so hard?
Yeah, because Chud Logic kept on calling out Nicholas Diorio for sweeping for Ethan Klein. So they tried to get Chud Logic ousted, and Chud Logic just remained. And nobody really cared. And in fact, a lot of Spurgs ended up turning on Diorio because a lot of them ended up finally waking up, which I've been saying since 2022 that Nicholas Diorio and these commentary clowns were not the best people ever. But yet again, who do I know? I'm just some random autistic podcaster, right? But that's the thing. It's like, you know, I make that joke on the Antichrist thing. It's because
I'm waiting for the day that the commentary community turns on him and turns him to a lol cow.
Oh, yeah, it's already starting to happen a little bit. Nicholas Diorio's, because apparently what's been happening is Ethan Klein is threatening to sue iDubbbz and all these other people, and Nicholas Diorio's been like kind of sleeping and pussying around, calling them out. So everyone's treating Nicholas Diorio as some lolcow that can't call out Ethan Klein. He can't just simply say, Ethan Klein's an idiot for doing this. He can't even say that. He just says, I don't agree with it, but I still, it's like, why don't you just shit on Ethan Klein like you did in 2020? Oh, wait, because you made a deal with him. Because that's the thing. They made a fucking deal. Him, Willie Mack, and all these people, they made a deal where Ethan Klein would use his YouTube connects to basically, shield these fucking people from criticism and all that. And that's why, it's just fucking stupid. The commentary mafia thing's fucking stupid. It's dumb. But yeah. So there's that. So Chud Logic basically shouted me out and stuff like that. I'm going to go live till like an hour to like 5 more minutes, just basically just yapping about whatever. Did 2 segments, did an interview with Aaron, which he had an event. Because unlike Dan Bilzerian, Aaron Baker actually does events in the district and actually goes out and fucking is busy. It doesn't have time to just go yap about online drama all the time, There's some last minute gameplays until an hour. I just need to get an hour of content just so, we're not like, people I'm not going to name can't even have an hour show. It's like, come on. Like, if you don't even have an hour show, then your show's not successful. And I know there are a few shows that we did that because, the show wasn't as successful. But I usually, a show is successful when you actually have like an hour. But yeah, so a lot's been going on with the whole thing. In fact, Aaron also talked about Nick Fuentes a little bit. Apparently, they're just talking. Nick Fuentes is not fully like endorsing Aaron just yet, mainly because he doesn't want what happened with Casey Putsch to happen, where Casey Putsch didn't even want to win. Me talking to Aaron today and the last time, Aaron actually does want to win. Aaron actually does want to win. He's a serious candidate that I feel like does actually want to win. And that's why I've been behind him and I'm willing. That's the thing too. If Dan Bilzerian, even though I don't agree with Dan Bilzerian, if you're watching this somehow, because they've been seething, like Dan Bilzerian's Congress account was seething about my interview saying, Nick Fuentes backed Randy Fine. Why are you guys endorsing Nick Fuentes when he backed Randy Fine? Yeah, because you're a fucking retard, Dan. And the guy that's running the Congress account, you guys are retarded. You guys are stupid. Like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. Y'all might as well just give up and fucking endorse Aaron at this point. That's what I've been saying since the beginning, yet you guys don't want to listen to me. You retards, for whatever reason, don't want to listen to the autistic guy when I actually have wisdom. I have wisdom in this. I live in the district. I know how District 6 is. I know how they are. I know how the boomers operate. I know how these people operate. I do. And these old boomers don't want someone like Dan Bilzerian to go and say, oh, I'm going to kill his ass. I got my gun. I got my rifles. Like, that's some internet shithead talk. That's some talk you talk on Call of Duty. This is not Call of Duty, bro. This is not a Call of Duty lobby. And that's the problem is these fucking candidates want to come in and fucking treat their campaign as it's some Call of Duty lobby. It's not no fucking Call of Duty lobby, Dan. It's not some fucking lobby where you can just come in and be like, I got my fucking gun. I got my rifle. I am a speed mustard guy. I got my rifle. It's like, bro, go back to Call of fucking Duty or some shit. Go back to Warzone. This is politics. You have to at least sound like you're smart, somewhat smart. You have to know politics. You have to know what the game goes. You have to know what to say. You have to know how to say things. You can't just come in unfiltered like it's the fucking internet. This is not X. This is not Call of Duty. This is not online. This is real life shit. You have to talk professional. I mean, yeah, you can talk about the Jewish supremacy problem. Yeah, but there's a way to do it. You have to just talk about it in points. You have to also come up with bills. You have to come up with solutions. You can't just say, there's all these Jews and we got to just kill it like Hitler. It's like, how is that going to get you to win, you dumb fucking idiot? Like, God, fucking damn, these people are stupid. The people online are fucking, this is why I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to give up, like, if Thomas Massey loses, I may give up politics a little bit because it's like, the reason why the America First movement's not even like is successful, but something's hurting it, right? You know what's hurting it? These low IQ America Firsters that just think you should bomb and nuke everything. And it's like, look, it's funny to say that on Discord. It's funny to say that behind the scenes. It's funny to say that as a joke. But when you're coming in, running as fucking Congress, and you're being serious about it, that's how you lose the fucking race, dude. That's how you fucking lose. So it's like, bro, like these people just need to understand. And that's the thing. I got my own meme. Like, if y'all want a meme candidate, Torrin's gonna be my fucking meme candidate because Torrin is could fucking run better than fucking Dan Bilzerian. And Torrin's not even a political figure. Torrin and Nate are not even political figures, yet they could be a better candidate than fucking Dan Bilzerian. Because at least they know how to fucking read. Oh yeah, funny part. Did y'all know Dan Bilzerian, before running for Congress, did not even know what fucking Congress was? Torrin and Jim, you guys are outsiders, and you guys know what a fucking Congress is. You know the difference. It's like, what the fuck? You're going to run for politics, you don't even know what a fucking governor or a senator or a congressman is? Like, bro, the retardation. No wonder why America First doesn't work, because of retards like Dan Bilzerian. People think everyone's just retarded like Dan Bilzerian. It's like, no. And this is why Nick Fuentes wanted to distance himself from Dan, Casey Putsch, and all these fucking idiots. Because they are 6-year-olds in a fucking grown men body. They act like 6-year-olds. Oh, we're just going to run for president. That means it's like, bro, you need to know how the shit works first. Like, what the fuck? Like, literally. It's like so stupid. Dan's more retarded than this community combined. I'm not gonna lie. I hate to say it. Dan Bilzerian's more retarded than fucking the commentary. At least Nicholas DeOrio somewhat knows what a congressman and a senate does, and he's not even a political figure. He isn't even running anything. He's just some stupid fuckhead lying sack of shit from commentary. But even he knows what, like, that's why I don't get it. Dan Bilzerian's so fucking stupid. Like, literally. He makes Dan 240p look like a saint. He makes me and Dan 240p look like, he makes Jim look smart. He makes Jim, Torrin, he makes all of us look smart. Dan Bilzerian makes every single person on this fucking panel a saint, a genius. And we're not even that smart. I'm not going to lie. We're not that smart on certain things, but we know more than Dan Bilzerian. That's for sure. We know a lot more than that motherfucker. Like, literally. Oh, by the way, we are above the hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. But don't worry, Torrin and Jim, we'll be doing a show Sunday. We'll be covering like all kind of stuff with Dignity, like
alrighty,
fun stuff. But anyways, it's been me, your boy Triton. If y'all like the show, hit the like button. If you liked Aaron's appearance, go donate to his website. And we will see you guys back on the show Sunday, 5 p.m. EST. And we'll see you then. Y'all have a good one. Peace. Bye-bye.